Hello, I'm delighted to be here. I want to thank the Art of New Business, the Female Quotient, and the World Economic Forum for having me. I think one thing we need to think about is what role do humans play or ought to play in digitization? And I am reminded of the quote by John Naisbitt in his book from 1982 called Megatrends, where he said that the most powerful advancement that's going to occur in the 21st century is not going to occur because of technology, but because of an advancing concept of what it means to be human. Here in our organization, we've taken this very seriously. We've added an entire practice to our software design development team called high-tech anthropology. We believe the best way to bring humans into the picture, which is the most important thing we can do in technology, is to empathize by studying them in their native environment and understanding the people we ultimately are serving. We actually use the word joy here in our organization in the spirit of making sure we're delighting the people we intend to serve. And the idea around bringing humans into play is this idea of honoring the people we intend to serve with the technology we are creating. And in that way, fulfilling John Naisbitt's prediction in Megatrends that the most important thing we can do in technical teams is to make sure we are honoring the humans we intend to serve with our work.
I'd love to really, as you all know, I go off script, so we're going to do that once again, because I can't go with linear questions to a group that is sitting up here. I can feel your energy already. If you can each tell me who you are, what you do, and then give it to me best of sort of what is your magic? What is it that you are giving back to the world?
Right here?
Right here. That's what happens when you sit next to me. You
Awesome.
go first.
Hi everybody, I'm Harald. I'm the CEO and curator of futur.io. It's the European Institute of Exponential Technologies and Desirable Futures. Pretty long. That's why the company name is shorter. So our mantra is mission Moonshots for Europe. We just published a book here yesterday. And I think our mission is that we have to learn from the US. Of course, we have a long time. We are learning from China, which is coming as a tsunami, I think. And I think in Europe, we have to kind of stand up and be a third voice, more or less. Be more ambitious. And I have some more, but I maybe keep it short.
We're going to come back, but I'm going to give you a heads up since there's no script for what I'm going to say, so I'll give you something to think about. I want to know what you learned from the US, and then we can talk about what you learned from China and the rest of the world, but I want to know what you're learning from the US.
Yeah, okay. My name is Harald Neidhardt. I'm from Germany.
Sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Ja, ich spreche auch Deutsch, sehr gern. And so what's the magic? You know, you just asked before, and then I was thinking, of course, the biggest magic is always, in my experience, I was 4 times there when my children was born, and today they're grown up, and I'm very happy when they're around, and they are so exciting and so teachable to me. So they took over my teaching, so that at the moment my best teachers, and it's very interesting to turn it around. But what I bring on the table is friendship. I don't know who knows Professor Yunus in the room. Okay, so the friendship moment is something that I really learned from the Grameen organization, from Professor Yunus. You know, I'm a quite good entrepreneur. Everything in entrepreneurship is mine. But I always was thinking, it's good to be an entrepreneur, you know, it's great to make a company and make millions of dollars. I made it as well and be successful. But then I think entrepreneurship is just a bridge, and it leads us to friendship. And that's what I'm delighted to say. Then the Grameen family and Professor Yunus are becoming a deeply friendship. We're promoting social business. We're promoting businesses who is there to take care in a way with the most us and possible empathy, with the most joy, with the caring spirit, and I'm happy to see that entrepreneurship grows through social business into great friendship. That's what we bring on the table.
That's fantastic.
I'm Thomas Juli. I'm a human business architect. I'm working for the Art of New and Motivate to Lead. And what we do is we want to motivate businesses to be human, especially in the digital age. And we have experienced this magic is actually quite a few projects I've managed, lots of tech projects. When the team members realize it's not about technology, it's about us. When the when I can facilitate an opening process, unfolding the potential within. And this is when magic can really happen. Not just like it's like one moment, but actually throughout the whole project. That's why I like wow projects.
Wow projects?
Well, wow projects, Tom Peters, he coined this word. I mean, these are projects that leave a legend. I mean, they are just filled with joy. They're very special. I mean, people are proud to be on this project for many reasons. They can identify with a purpose, and this is what I call a wow project. When you talk about a wow project, people say, "Can I join?"
I agree with you. My company, when I pioneered online research, people just would say it was a wow company. Who doesn't want to work for a wow company when everything excites and delights you? Nothing wrong with that. Barbara.
My name is Barbara Bulc. I'm a founder and president of Global Development Impact, and I have a special privilege to serve as an ambassador of the Reboot the Future. And I would like to share a little bit more what the Reboot the Future is and how we are bringing it into what we do. 2 years ago, we launched a book which is called Imagine Ourselves, Visions of Transformation. And for me, this is a wow moment and the magic. And what imaginal cells are, we all are imaginal cells. And they have at the core something that everybody knows, which is a golden rule. Treat others and our planet the way you would like to be treated. And my magic is the projects, including technology, that brings this principle into its core. And I think we have a lot of work to do. I think, Shelley, with what you're doing is magic. You are bringing together Imaginers. This would not be possible without the technology. I think education has a tremendous potential. I think the way we innovate and reimagine solution needs to have, in a way, standardized the golden rule, so it's not allowed to do the development if it doesn't fit these criteria. And lastly, I want to mention, yesterday I had the opportunity to spend an evening with an amazing Swedish activist, Greta Thunberg, at the Arctic camp. She's in Davos, and her message, which I think is for me the most important message in Davos, would not be spread around the world if we didn't have technology. And I think these are magic moments that happened this week.
I think technology is such an enabler, and it also is a level setter because we can scale, we can, internationalize, globalize, so much thinking. So I think it is just so important. I just want to go to Hans because I know Hans is in a hurry to go home to his children, which is a great reason to be in a hurry. Will you just talk about, we talked about friendship. Talk about what you've done with the Berlin Wall. Just saying.
Yeah, it has to do something with my generation, I'm born 1966 in Germany, in a time that was enough time post-Second World War, but it was still the Cold War, Our DNA when we grow up, it was a wall, it was split, it was 1,800 times more nuclear power in front of us, and it was always a bold fight, much more bolder than today, about this could be every day happened, and then the nuclear bomb explodes over us, And then 89, when we saw the impossible is possible, this unbelievable signature of a system breaks down, The Berlin Wall disappeared. And I think everyone knows somehow what he did on the 9th of November 89. This moment is something who brought us in a global conscience. Something like only the moon did it, or the Earthrise did it. It was a moment where the conscience, the human conscience, get touched, and where we are here. So we did the memory of 20 years, 25 years, and now we're going for 30 years of the fall of the Berlin Wall. And and this leads us to social business, and this leads us to the aspect. We have a problem, of course, this is there. We have many problems. Life is full, nature is full of challenging. We have an Herausforderer, an Obligator, a challenger, like Netherlands have water, and always fight against the water and always be challenged by the water. But water is never an enemy to the Dutch. And the same is what I learned on the wall. What we want to overcome we should go with it, we should play with the water, we should canalize it, we should overcome it, but we should not hate it. You know, whatever we do when we break down this dirty, unnecessary wall against women, against females, against people who are on sexual belief, and we see that 1.5 billion human beings are today on a punishing just because on which sexuality they belong, and it's daily happened. Should be maybe not our enemy, but we should be 100% conscious to this problem. We should overcome it. We should go, we should take all our joy to it. And this is what shows me the wall, because one thing what maybe from the historical side many people doesn't know, and this is very important. When the 10th of November was, the people in Eastern Germany, they keep on printing the flyers. There was under the whole street 3 months. They didn't believe then it was over. 3 months there was down and printing papers, go out and fight, and this wall is falling. And there's no wall between man and woman, a brother and a father, and a son and a daughter, and a friend and a friendship between us who could not break down. And I think the big message of the Berlin Wall is to say we don't accept it. It's stop with us, stop with my generation, all the sexual violence, all the aspects, to say we stop it with our generation, and it's as big, as strong as this could imagine to us. As long as we go with all our love and dedication behind it, there's no wall strong enough. No.
First of all, this is amazing, and I think that deserves a great round of, kudos to you for what you're doing. And I was in Germany, I was in Berlin. I passed Checkpoint Charlie. I went from West Berlin to East Berlin, and what was amazing at the time was how bright and light West Berlin was. And as soon as I crossed Checkpoint Charlie, the cloud came, not literally, but figuratively. I felt sad and depressed, and I saw poverty, and the money system was different, and it really was this different place on earth. And so when the wall came down, I went again, and to feel united and what one country could be, and it was remarkable for me. So it goes to you, Harald. What did you learn from the U.S.? I just want to know. Future I.O., tell us what it is, what it does, and I want to know what you learned from the U.S. now that we're putting a wall up, which is so disturbing.
All right, so I spent about 7 years in the U.S., lived in New York. My moment was maybe 9/11, so I saw the tower fall, and but I sticked, so I didn't leave. And so you saw, a nation really rising up with NASDAQ and the whole new economy in the end of the 90s, but then also the stronghold of New York. But so I have 2 daughters, and I think we gave them the best opportunity to go to New York and to go to America to see all the opportunity and this American dream, which I think ended after elementary school for me and for us.
Elementary school?
Yeah, because, pardon my reach. Because I think after that, we lived 400 meters from school. They were not allowed to walk alone. Somebody had to pick them up, sign up, and so on. So I think America has the biggest promises, but living there, unfortunately, revealed more. It's run by lawyers and legislation or legislation and whatever. I mean, all these legal things and words. It's sad because America has all the power in the world to make the most amazing change. We know Obama is no longer here, and there's a lot of hope. And that's the saddest part, that you have all the capabilities to change, to inspire other nations of the world to do the best, and look what we do. So unfortunately, that's I think is a wake-up call, similar with Brexit and so on, for Europe to say, well, we got to take a more let's say ambitious role in the world for our next generations. I think with some of the law we do, which is very uncomfortable, the GDPR, privacy things, which is a good thing. You just have to explain it good. And now I'm looking forward to the elections in Europe. Hopefully that will somehow save us, but I'm a little bit scared, so we need all your help to go and inspire people to go vote for that. So I think the US in a way is inspiring, but at one end you have to leave and make a choice what is good for, let's say, the next generation.
Amazing. So Thomas, what are we doing in the world of digitization in your side of the world? Like,
Well,
how are you playing there?
Well, actually, I think it's good that you talk about the US. In Germany, we have the so-called hidden champions, the small and medium enterprises. And the industry, as well as quite a few people there, are afraid of digitization. There's a fear also when you talk to especially older people, even though nobody seems not to listen to them. I think actually in Germany what we will see with the small and medium enterprises, they may be better prepared than most people think. Why? Because they are still closer to the customer. They know how to delight the customer. They care about the people working for the company, the workforce. They know what it takes to build a happy workplace. And they do not just look at short-term profits, EBIT, and what have you, what you see a lot in the US. They're actually interested in sustainable business, finding a balance between short, mid, and long-term business value. So I think they're very well prepared. What they're missing, what they're lacking is sometimes technology, what I see. So I think like, well, digitization is with us, has been with us for quite a while, but I think the bottom line is like, if you lost, if you forgot what the purpose is, why you're in business, to delight your customer, to have a very powerful and very happy workforce, and to talk or generate business value, you're out of business. And there's, as a matter of fact, conclusive proof, evidence that this happens no matter where you go, also in the US. So I think that looking at Germany and some of the small and medium enterprises, you can find quite a few role models.
Are these role models women? Do we have enough women in tech in Germany?
No.
Just asking, exactly.
No, I think that's not the case. And the last 2 days, I mean, there were quite a few very inspiring speeches and panels. You know, I think that if you start at the university or in the university, it's too late. You have to start in the elementary school and encourage the kids to be more open to physics and to natural sciences, etc. And because I have 2 daughters, and they are not really that excited about technology, even though it's part of the daily life. On the other side, I'm not really concerned about their future at all, because they still know how to appreciate nature. They say, Dad, we had a great time because what we did, we all turned off our iPhones and we just played, we talked. And when they said this, I could almost cry, because they were actually more mature than most of us adults. And if that's the young generation, if they can still feel this, I think we are on the right track.
Wonderful. So now your 2 daughters can meet your 2 daughters.
True.
Nice little match here. Okay, Barbara, let's bring this home. Tell us about imaginal cells and what is that?
Yes. For those of you who don't know imaginal cells yet, everybody knows caterpillar. So caterpillar, when it's decaying, it has these cells inside that are called biologically imaginal cells. And these cells start coming together, they have a different genetic coding, and when they reach a critical mass, something happens. And what happens is a transformation. They transform into a butterfly. And I think this is symbolically, for me, the magic and the potential that we as a humanity have. But it only happens if you have the genetic coding, going back to the golden rule that I mentioned before, and we also have to find each other. And I see this week in Davos, there's so many initiatives going on, lots of people doing the same things, but they don't know for each other. And I think it's really important, and that's where technology can help, to help us connect and help us connect with consciousness. That's why I was mentioning before the maps, and I like to call them imaginal maps, and that's what my global development impact is focused on. How can we utilize technology to develop imaginal maps, so organizations, people, communities, new communities that are emerging actually can connect and bring what you have here, be conscious of your unconsciousness, to really amplify it, the message, and become an enabler for a movement, for a change for the planet and for our humanity. And we have no time.
Well, we certainly don't have 202 years to close the pay gap. Like, that is crazy. Quick last question, we have a minute and a half left. How do we use technology for gender equality? Can we use it to help us close the pay gap?
I can add on to the situation in Germany, and how we can use it. On the background to say, I was involved in 100 years of BMW. I was one leading positions called the global impact, and it was done through a mega organization of 90 people to think about for 2 years how the next 100 years look like, and about how we feel what digitalization, artificial intelligence means for us. So one of the results is definitely we need to find out today what's wrong and right. What are the right way to go and what are the wrong way to go. And in this way, I'm 100% sure, seeing to the German situation and the tech, and the generation under 40, we have women absolutely in the lead. And the next generation will be led much bolder than ever before by women. And that's an opportunity to find out what's wrong and don't let it accepted like we had heroin accepted as a product, or like we had many other chemical products accepted for too long time, as long we messed up the world. So this role of being aware what's going on in tech, what's wrong and right, this could bring the caring spirit into the majority of the economic system. It's a huge opportunity. We may need 7 to 8 years, but the skills are here, the positions are here in the big companies where I go in and out. I see the great and right women in the position there, and it needs 7 to 9 years to be really the caretaker about what we are doing and what's wrong and what's right.
That's amazing. Well, I think you're all caregivers, and I think those are the best qualities of leadership today, so I feel we're in good hands. We talked about the golden rule, do unto others as you'd want done unto yourself. We are also talking about the platinum rule, do unto others as they'd want done to themselves. What might be good for me might not be good for you. We need to be respectful of one another. Thank you so much for having this conversation.